So how are you?
I'm
How
doing I'm doing really, really good. Really good.
good, good.
Yeah. Seeing my lawyer on Friday and yeah, he's really like intrigued about everything. He's kind of like, I'm really sorry you went through all this. But we could get you this is why I do this. This is why I do pro bono work, is to help women get out of bad marriages. And he did find it really interesting though that his Scott's name and his social security number don't match. Not only that, when my sister sent me some of those files, there's text messages to someone and saying that he was already married, and this was in May of 2019. Yeah,
When did you guys supposedly get married?
August 2019.
Huh.
And so when I went to the Vital Check website to get a copy of the marriage certificate, it's not available online. It said that you have to actually go physically to the office, which is odd.
Very, yeah.
But there's a record in North Carolina for him being married in May of 2019.
What's on the record? Have you seen it?
I put his name in there and I started just adding dates,
Mm-hmm.
if anything would match up, and one did.
Okay, and it just has his name and the date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you have to pay for it for you to actually get the record sent.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. So I told my lawyer that, and he's like, well, he's like, you may not even be married. He's like, that's illegal. That's bigamy.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of, but I don't know. It's just everything all together. Like yeah, those text messages, like they say that they're from him to someone saying that he's already married. Went to K Jewelers on May 2nd. It wasn't for me, that's for sure.
When do you think your lawyer will find out anything definitive?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That should come pretty quickly, I would think, if you can get access to that record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's strange, right?
Yeah, very, very. I want this to be kind of like a checking in with you, because I know that like you've had some wins lately, and when I've been talking to you, you've been in very good spirits. And it's just as important to show a survivor winning and in good spirits as it is to bring awareness to the struggles and the trials, because people need to see that there's life after domestic violence. People need to see that you can bring yourself out of that darkness and stay out of it. And you can keep winning and keep winning as long as you keep moving forward. I wanted to talk about your hearing that you just had and what it entailed and how you felt during and how you felt after.
I was actually really excited. I could barely sleep all night. I kept waking up like, oh, I'm going to miss it. Go back to sleep and then wake up again. Oh, I'm going to miss it. So finally at about 6:30, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get up and get ready. That conducted the meeting, who was like the one I spoke to in front of that probation review board, he's actually really nice. And he said, just ask me if there's anything I would like to say. And I told him about what happened on October 30th and October 31st. Everything that happened. From him wrapping the cord around my neck to him strangling me again and telling me to say goodbye to my children. To the reports of the child sexual abuse and the human trafficking. And I told him everything, absolutely everything. And I asked if he needed the case numbers. And he said, I believe you. I felt vindicated.
Good.
Because for so long, I had been telling people what was going on. And no one believed me. Like he had people convinced that I was crazy. He had people convinced that I was a drug addict. He had people convinced that I was schizophrenic and that I was an escort and I was all these horrible things that I wasn't. No one believed me. And and I think like it's only in the past like few months that people actually really started listening, just because of how persistent I am and because of the interviews with you And people actually like saying like, look, listen to her. She's not crazy. She really isn't. She's showing you these drug tests. She's showing you all these like screenshots of those files. Like, she's not lying. To have like the courts actually confirm that I'm not and that they believe me, it was almost overwhelming, like really.
And to have the courts, especially people that, the judges, I mean, they make decisions that affect your life from the day after that hearing to however old, till your kids are 18. A judge to say that he believes you, that's like freedom, really. So
yeah.
You're giving me, oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. That's huge. Congratulations.
He did say that he doesn't have any control over the date of the next hearing when he goes in front of the Court of General Sessions, and that's when the judge, I'll get to speak again, and then that's when the judge will actually physically like have him taken to jail. He said it'll be May or June.
Okay.
But he asked if I was okay, and I said I'm fine right now, and I am fine. I'm really okay.
Good.
Better than that, like and just, I think it was a week or two before, just when I found, my sister and I found some more files, and we both made reports. She did the Department of Defense while I did Homeland Security. And the next day I was texting DSS and telling them what else was found. And all she said was, have you contacted LE, law enforcement? And I thought, and I didn't even know what that meant at the time, but in my mind, I'm thinking, is that all you're going to say? All you have to say to me? Like, that's it? Of course I've contacted the police. Of course I filed more reports. And then I thought, you know what? I'm like, this should have been done a long time ago when I first reported it in November. And I told her, I'm like, I don't care that he's the father of my children. I said, I don't care one bit. And I said, he should not be allowed around my children. I'm filing reports against your agency to stop you from allowing him to have visitation. And so I went on Twitter and I started like tweeting like all these agencies, and in Washington, Eileen King in Washington, DC, voiceless child. I started tagging lots of people. And I did file 2 reports against them. This is crap. This is complete crap. They're not only continuing to victimize my children by having them see their father. Like, this is like, how is that protecting them? It's not. It really isn't. And then so the next day she texted me back and said, because of the overwhelming number of reports against him, which I made, at visitation with the children and him are now suspended. And I was like, oh, finally. It only took me having to like really like publicly out them on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook for them to actually start listening and filing those reports as well.
Well, that took your persistence, and it's good that you are talking about that on this interview to show other survivors that you not only have to take the first step, you have to take 30 more steps. You have to keep going. You have to be a thorn in their side. You have to threaten to out them. You have to threaten people's jobs. And it's, number one, it's ridiculous that you have to do that in order to get people to do exactly what it is that they're supposed to do, which is protect your children. But the fact that you got this is a huge win. It's a huge win. And had they not done anything, see, it's this type of issue that creates very high profile cases and lawsuits. So had they not done anything, I'm sure you would have done what? Sued. And then that's a huge problem that leads to investigations into their department, and all sorts of other people get in trouble. And so you put them into a corner, and they had to make a move. They had to do their job. So,
well, the funny thing is that in November, like, there's also like a child from a previous relationship that she came forward. She talked to DSS. She is now 21. She talked to the police and told them he sexually abused her. They had those reports in November, and they still did absolutely nothing to investigate. Zero. I have text messages from me actually talking to Emily Dunlap in DSS.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted those on Twitter and I posted on Instagram because they were still trying to get my children to live with his mother, knowing full well that he lived there as well. They didn't take any of it seriously, not one bit.
So the young lady, the 21-year-old that came forward with his other child, does she live in the same area that you do?
I'm not sure where she lives in Boiling Springs, I think, but she lives in the same general area, but she was from a child from his previous relationship. She was, when it happened, she was between 8 and 12 years old when he was doing things. And she told the police this, and she told DSS, Emily Dunlap, this. She was between 8 and 10.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, and she's now 21, and she made the report telling what happened when she was 8 to 12 years old. And yeah, DSS did not. She just pretty much said, well, I talked to her mother who had the relationship with Scott, and she's like, something's really wrong here. She's like, when she talked to Emily, she didn't seem to care. She didn't ask any questions. She said she would write it down, and that was pretty much it.
See, and that breeds silence. That breeds fear. So that by the time people in her situation are able to come forward, then the statute of limitation has run out. There's nothing you can really do about it. This has to be stopped. I'm sorry.
Like I'm not sure how the statute of limitations works with child sexual abuse, but her being 21 and coming, like, she made the police report. DSS should have done something, investigated a long time ago. Immediately, and they didn't. Like, that's negligence, beyond negligence, in my opinion. It's really getting to me now. It's getting irritating because I don't mind doing things. Like, I will do anything to get my children back. But when they're actually like, feels like they're crucifying me for trying to leave an abusive situation, victim blaming. When 911 was called and DSS was called, they took him to jail. What they should have done is taken me and my children to a safe home and gotten me medical attention. They did nothing. Absolutely zero. They left me in that hotel room. The victim's advocate left me in that hotel room by myself, no money, nowhere to go. And she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Do I look okay?" She's like, "Well, I have somewhere to be at 8 o'clock." So she left.
Do you still have the name of this victim's advocate? Do you remember her name?
I know her face. I don't remember her name.
Because that's awful.
Yeah.
Her job is to make sure that you are safe and you're healthy.
I was neither safe nor healthy. Like, they didn't have to take my children from me. They should have taken us to a safe home. That's what because the threat was already gone. I was clearly in need of medical attention. Like, it took 6 weeks for my face to heal.
That's right, because the whole side of your face was swollen, right?
Oh, that was just the one side. The other side was the same. And the police did take pictures. I actually should get those pictures to show exactly what he did, but it was bad. It was really bad.
So the hearing that you spoke at was his parole hearing?
Probation hearing.
Oh, probation hearing, okay. And so that was revoked. So he is now just in jail.
No.
Where is he?
He kept violating probation. And so I have his the cell phone number of his probation officer. And I don't know why I have it. I just do.
I remember you texting. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, even before in August, I was texting her and telling her things, and still nothing was done. This is like after COVID hit. And then even after that, I was still texting her and telling her, like, look, this is what's happening. Why is he not in jail? Like, he's clearly violating his probation. Like, can't someone do anything to help me? And then when I seen in, what was that, early March or early February, that he was taken to jail for a probation violation and released a couple hours later, and I was like, are you kidding me? So I contacted the Attorney General Victims Advocate, and she put me in touch with the local Victims Advocate. And I told them, like, I'm not safe, this is what's happening. And the Attorney General's Victims Advocate, she gave me, her name's Faith Turner. she gave me the number for the director of probation. I called him. And then I called the ombudsman. And then I called the governor's office. I made a complete pest of myself.
Good.
And then I started telling the probation, I was like, okay, I'm tweeting this. Everyone's going to know what your agency is doing, not keeping victims safe. I said, I was supposed to be notified if he was arrested. You haven't notified me for anything. Not one single time. I said, so I'm going to tweet this. I'll let everyone know. I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to let everyone know there too. And on Facebook.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
So then the one hearing, they scheduled it and then they canceled it. And I was like, oh. So I'm like, you know what? I texted her. I'm like, I'm doing it again. I'm posting this all over until you guys start doing your job. Mm-hmm. And then so she actually, about a week later, 2 weeks later, she texted me and said, okay, we got it rescheduled. I'm like, thank you so much. So that one actually did go through, and yeah. So they revoked his probation, but he has to go in front of the General Sessions Court, and I don't know why. I have no idea. And then that's when he'll get taken to jail. I think he's at his mother's.
So probably. He's free to walk around and do whatever.
Yep. He's free to walk around and do whatever he wants.
So he violated probation 3 times, and he had his probation revoked, and he's still just out in the world.
He's still out in the world, using computers, being a pedophile, being a sick individual. Yeah.
What? I don't understand our justice system. I don't
either. I posted a tweet about that. I said, well, how bad does it have to be for victims services to actually take this seriously, for probation services to take this seriously? I'm in hiding. Like, does he have to almost kill me before you guys put him in jail? Like, what has to be done?
Is your BOOK coming?
My BOOK is coming along pretty good. My lawyer actually asked if he could have a signed copy. He said, you have an amazing story to tell. He's like, it's going to help a lot of people. Yep. He's like, because anything that you can name that anyone could have gone through, you've gone through.
Yep. And lived and are thriving and are fighting.
You know, God, he's like, I don't know if you believe in God. He's like, but it's like, he gave you this task because he could see you going through it and coming out of it and actually using it to help people. And not only that, he's like, you'd be able to stop him.
When you come out of it like you have, and when you come out of it like I have, and other survivors that I know, like every single interview that I've had, we have ended in smiles and joy and happiness and talking about family and talking about the next things we're going to do. And, we have to keep doing this, or, we're keeping in touch and checking in with one another. And it is remarkable experience for something so tragic to bring us all together, but yet we come out of it
better people.
Who would think? Who would think going through something so dark, you come out being better, stronger? Yeah, we have scars, but they're not keeping us in the dark place. We're not staying in PTSD. We're dealing with our hurt, and we're healing from our hurts, and we're helping other people get out of their hurt and heal from it also. You were meant, as crappy as it was, you were meant to experience what you did. And also, you are an extraordinary example for your little ones. Extraordinary. Oh my gosh. Your kids, I guarantee you, your kids when they get older, they're going to think you're a superhero, for real.
My aunt actually said, she said that my children chose the right mother. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
I can't wait. I can't wait till you get your little ones back. I can't wait to hear
me too.
I can't wait to see the pictures. So oh my gosh. How are they doing? Have you, when's your next visitation?
On Tuesday. Yeah, I get to see them on Tuesday.
So,
and another thing, I got a call for housing. So go for an intake for housing on Friday.
What? That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Is it like a facility, or is it actually like an apartment?
an actual apartment. Weird, because I don't know, everything just seems to be going right now. Everything, all the good things that I've been waiting for, everything's going really good, really, really good. My boyfriend, he is absolutely amazing. He really is. Like, I can't even, he's everything that I've ever wanted, that I didn't even know I needed.
And you know what? That's a testament to your growth as well, because I know a lot of people who come out of domestic violence situations and they just can't get into that place to be able to open up, to provide space for another person romantically. So you've done a lot of healing that I really don't even think you realized in a very short amount of time. Because it's been, you're welcome. How long has it been since you left Scott?
I left him for good in August 2020.
And you're already have a boyfriend? You already are in a relationship? That's big. And that's huge.
He's also a survivor as well.
Oh, really? Oh, wait. I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. So he's not physical abuse, but a lot of psychological abuse. So it's how I kind of, like, what I was telling him is like, you know what, even though like all these like horrible things happened, it kind of made us ready for each other. And yeah, like we're both like we have scars, but we're both like, we realize that and see that in each other. We're both really gentle about that with each other. Yeah, he's wonderful, absolutely amazing. I adore him.
You're just giving me goose. I wish you could. That is so wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
Me too.
So happy for you. The doors are opening and the blessings are coming. You really, really deserve them. Next is getting your little ones back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hearing will be May 5th, and that's just for the termination of parental rights. And so I'm not even considering that it's going to go bad. I think it's going to be tossed out, and then they'll probably set another court date for me to have absolutely everything else in place. And then I think how it works in South Carolina, the kids get to come home every weekend for like little visits until they get to come home permanently.
Yeah, to ease them into the environment. Yeah, and by that time you'll have your own place.
Yes.
And that is so amazing.
I can't tell you how many times, like in the past 2 years, that it's really weird. I was telling my boyfriend this, when things could have gone like really horribly wrong, and they didn't. Like something always intervened. Something always happened to kind of protect me and to keep me going forward. And I was like, it's sort of like walking blind and just trusting that God is going to be there and help you when you need it. That's what it feels like. You have to have that faith that, you know what, it's going to be okay. He's got your back.
And keep trying. And to be able to have that strength, given what you especially have experienced, is extraordinary. That's bonkers. You're welcome, because that's huge. You should feel very proud of yourself for that, because you're able, like you said, you're able to take those steps walking blind and having faith. That's hard for people to do in everyday life when they have a 9-to-5 job and everything is provided for them, you know? But you're able to do that and still do it, and still be thorns in people's sides and being a pain in you know what to all these agencies and get a job, you know? But that goes back to, like, he knew that you were going to be the light for so many others. And that's why you're reaping the benefits now. That's why you are aware that all these blessings are now happening.
They really are. I see them, they're everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Like, I have an amazing man. I'm going to get my kids back. I'm going to get a place. Like, everything is going like so well. And it's just, I think maybe when you've had everything, like your whole world doesn't matter how much you plan for life. And if once it's ready to, like, the rug pulled out, there's really, all your plans like are shattered. And you just have to try to move your way forward without, like, you know what, like, doesn't matter what happens. You just have to go with the flow. Just keep trying. I don't know. It's so hard to explain, because I know in that moment, like, I did feel like there were times like where I broke down and I was scared.
Yeah.
Like, broke down crying and I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to keep on, you just pick yourself up and keep going, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. Faith, have that faith.
Yep. Okay. Well,